my science is about this B word, so get ready. Take the kids away from the stage. And actually, before I start b-boarding around, I have one question for you. Who knows what this thing is? Well, it's not just a brain. This is one of the main questions in biology still not answered. There is an army of scientists brainstorming this question every day. What is the brain? What is our memory? How do we learn things? How do we memorize? Well, actually, what do we know about it? Well, neurons make the brain. So these are tiny cells that have very complicated structure, and learning and memorizing and forgetting works by building brain-blowing amount of connections between the neurons and rebuilding them all the time, which is actually maybe happening in all your brains right now. But with the brains there is a small problem. They are very long, and some brains can be up to 1 meter long, and if we have to remodel the connections, brains have to transport lots of energy and building materials from the very center of a neuron, where all this stuff is made, all the way to the distant parts of the neurons. So there is a small logistics problem here. Obviously neurons don't have FedEx or something like that, so how do they solve this? Well, good thing is that, yeah, now let's just brain away for a bit and let's think of something else. So the thing is, I have a girlfriend in Norway, and she has a very tough PhD project. But she's also very brainy. So when I go to her the next time, I would bring her some chocolate. Actually, not to her, but to her brain. And maybe not chocolate, but some Catalan Touron. So how do I bring it? Well, maybe first I take some flight, come to Oslo, and from there, maybe I take a train. The good news is that the Norwegian railroad system looks exactly like a giant neuron. Just look at it. And the thing is that the Touron, this small melted Touron in my pocket, has the same problem as thousands of molecules in neuron. They have to be transported somehow. Well, my girlfriend likes neurons, likes sweets, and she needs nutrients. Okay, so how do we do this? Fine, Norway has the railroads. Neurons, on the other hand, have microtubules. Microtubules are tiny structures that work exactly the same way to transport molecules inside of the cell over these long distances. Well, here actually there is a real microscopic photo of a neuron where you can see green microtubules, so that you can just like brain around this and imagine it a bit, how it looks like. And as you understand, the rails only is not enough to transport things, right? So, okay, Norway has the trains. The neurons, on the other hand, have different kinds of motor proteins. So, and I take my Touron, I go to the train station, sorry. I take the train and we go. But all these thousands of molecules take the motor proteins, which actually catch the cargo and really physically walk on the microtubules to transport it. And not just like I don't want to brainstorm it too much. And I want to tell you, this is exactly what I'm studying in my lab. I'm trying to understand how do neurons transport all these different kinds of molecules through all these big distances inside of the cell, so that they can rewire and that we can learn and memorize things. Actually, let's just, make a pause. Scientists are just big children wearing the lab coats. And when you give a toy to a child, you know what happens, right? They break it and cry. But if a child manages to put her brain on the gear and assemble the toy back, maybe she will start to understand how the toy actually works. And it's the same in my case. To understand the transport system in neurons, I'm trying to rebuild all the railroad system myself. I take the microtubules from the brain, I produce the motor proteins with the help of bacteria, I add the cargo molecules on top and let my trains run. Here you can see a typical assay that I do in my lab with the green motor proteins, I hope you can see it, running on the red microtubules. So with this tool, we can understand possibly what the memory is, what is our brain, how does it function, so that one day we can probably say, hey brain, show me what you've got. Thank you.